The boat you can see behind me is an Aquila 32, and the most interesting and obvious thing about this boat is the fact that it's a catamaran. You can see here, in fact if I come around this way a little bit further, I stood on a galley 325 at the moment, full review already on the channel. There we go, look at that. That is a full-on catamaran. Now, you might ask, why? Well, the reason that catamarans are good news is mostly about volume. You end up with a big, wide, square boat, and then the space on board for a 32-footer is fantastic. It's also very stable because, of course, it's not a V that then sort of rocks around. It is sat on these two hulls on either side, and they also tend to be very efficient. And this one's also, I noticed, a Category B RCD, so it is an offshore boat. So we're going to come right to the back. We're going to do the full tour, of course. And we're going to step on back here. We're going to talk about the engines first, just for a change, because we are right at the very back end. Now, the thing I love about these engines, somebody pointed this out to me on a previous boat where we found with these engines, and they said those engines have got moo written on them, and they're absolutely right, they have. They've got moo written on them. The reason they've got moo written on them is because, of course, they've actually got, where are we, 300 written on them. They're 300 horsepower Mercury Verado outboards. Now, this boat has just arrived in the UK. I was talking to the dealer, which is Approved Boats, and they were saying that when they brought it around to the show, where it is at the moment, they were doing 40 knots and there's still a bit to go. So it's a quick boat, 40 knots plus, cruising at 30. The other interesting thing about these is the range, because it is, surprise, surprise, about 250 miles. But what's really interesting, I was looking at the figures earlier, is the fact that whether you're doing 20 knots or 40 knots, you're within about 20 miles of that. I think at 40 knots it's 230, and then like at 20 knots it's 258 or something. So it is surprising, in fact, that once she's up and planing, how little difference there is depending on the speed that you're doing. So you've got plenty of excuse to go fast, always important. There's a big bathing ladder in here, so this opens up like so. That obviously slides out and drops down, and it's got handles that extend up, so that's a really easy way in and out of the water. And you've got these nice big handles here to grab hold of as well, very useful. A lot of adaptability, but also a lot of beam. I think it's 12'8" if I remember rightly. But having said that, it's not so wide that you can end up with two berths, or needing two berths, which can be the problem with big catamarans, of course. If you look at it, you can see we're in a standard berth here, and there is space for another boat next to it. So you shouldn't be getting clobbered with having to have extended berths or whatever. These are all adaptable. These backrests will drop down. We can't do it at the minute because the engine's tilted up, but of course when that tilts down, there's space for that to drop flat. This one here, you can lift this seat up and it folds back underneath and drops down, so this becomes a seat like this one. Another interesting thing is these little fellas here, which they call staples, because what you can do with these is you can move them around. They just drop into these deck sockets like this. So if you want to have that as a little cockpit door, you can put it in there like that. You could spin it around the other way, so your cup holders are on the inside if you prefer. You can see how that one there is in place over there. So those you can move around. We'll drop it back where it was for the moment. The other thing we've got here as well is a deck shower that pulls out from here, and fuel filler is here as well. So that is, he says, wait, oh there we go, look at that, huh. Remarkable. All of these seats have got storage underneath them. In fact, there is a massive storage void underneath this one. If I can remember how to do this. Oh, I need to move that out of the way. That was it. I knew there was something, because it hinges that way. So I'll pop that over there for a moment, and then I can lift that one. He says, there we go. Check this out. This is vast. So loads of room for canopies or gear, or, you know, I don't know, maybe even a sea bob or something you could put in there, couldn't you? That'd be fantastic. That's an infill cushion for the forward cockpit area. We'll see that in a moment. And then a lot of the engineering systems are in here, so batteries and wiring and plumbing and all that kind of stuff is all nice and easy to get to. But yeah, that is a big void. And there's another one on that side, because of course there's two hulls. So that's the inside of this starboard hull, and then the port hull is over on the other side. Let's drop that one back down. Those are really powerful gas struts. Hang on. What am I doing wrong? See, seek and you shall find. what they've done is they've put a lock on here so that you can't drop it down on somebody by accident. That's a very sensible idea. There we go. Let's drop that fella back in. David said to me, make sure you move the cushions because they'll end up in the water. And I said, don't worry, don't worry. I've already broken one thing on one of your galleons. I wouldn't lose your cushions as well. Sorry, David. Have you noticed how these days every single approved boats video includes an apology to David O'Rourke? What else have we got? Big sun awning powers out the back of here, so you can have that for shade or you can retract that away. Table folds, so if you want that half the size, then you can do. I want to show you this as well because these have storage underneath them, but they cantilever. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. So they can come out like that. You see how these little chaps here bring the base out so that you can open it right up. This one's got a drain in it. Reason for that is you can fill it with ice and put drinks and things in. There's a fridge as well, but if you want a bit more storage, that's what that lives. But it's much easier than having the whole thing just come right off in your hand. They don't match very well, do they? Hang on. No, that's wrong. Beautiful. I feel so proud. Right, let's press on a bit further. Loads of seating around here. As I say, that one will fold away into there, so you can have that as a standard seat, or drop the backrest down, leave that out, and have that as a big sunbed. Swing on a bit further. Again, you feel that beam everywhere you go in this boat as you move through it. It just feels so wide, and the reason for that is because it's so wide. Helm position is here. These drop down, thusly, and then if you want them lifted up, you can stand at the wheel. This is actually a tilt wheel, so there's a little lever down there and you can move that around. It's got the standard throttle levers but also a joystick, so when you're manoeuvring in close quarters you can joystick control the boat. You've got Fusion Hi-Fi here, you've got the multifunction display here, that's the Mercury engine instrumentation in behind there, little compass, little storage area with power sockets. That's really useful. That's like a cigarette style and that's USBs, so that's helpful. And if we spin on round, then we have got the galley area. So there's a fridge here, that one is a bin. If we move this, oh dear, sorry David in advance, let's put that up over here. Gently does it. What could possibly go wrong? The reason I wanted to move that up there is because, well, that one first of all is your grill, and that one is your sink. But check out this little nubbin here because, look at that. Done that wrong, haven't I? Check out this little nubbin here because, look at that. There we go, I did that out later. Yeah, so that gives you a little bit more space up there, but also it just gives somewhere for this to go, because normally you take those off and think, what on earth do I do with that now? This can close off so that, there we go, you can have that like that. The windscreen then can fold over. It's clipped back, so I can't reach that a minute on the outside. But you get the idea. That means you can completely close this off across here. Also, I believe I'm right in saying there's canopies that go in around here, so you can infill the whole thing if you want to. Or open it up, and of course, you've then got access out to the bow. This is where that infill cushion goes that I was telling you about. We've got backrest cushions here, of course, means there's a double sunbed here and a single sunbed here, but with those infill cushions in, it's right the way across the whole boat. And then up here, you've got your little cup holders dotted around the place. There is the anchor winch in here, like so. And I think that little socket down there is for a deck wash. Yeah, it says fresh water, so that's exactly what it's for. So that's that, and these are just storage voids, so canopies or fenders or whatever else you want to put in there. There we go. Let's come right up to the very bow, have a look back down. Opening hatches up on the hard top as well. Very nice. Good. Now that is the exterior, but there is interior as well. So if we come back here, I mean, it really is just a giant party boat, isn't it? It's fantastic. But if you did want to spend the weekend on it, you can, because down here is quite a decent double bed tucked away in there. That's all right. You've got opening hatch up above. There's little blinds that come across there as well, look like that. And you've got hull windows too. And that was an opening section, which is nice, because with that open and that open, you get a bit of air through. A bit of storage for your knickknacks. And then little cupboards down here as well. So, you know, you wouldn't want to go away for a month with your family, but you would certainly have a weekend on board of this very comfortably. Ooh, pardon me. And then over here, battery switches. You've got switch gear here. This says aircon. It doesn't have aircon on this boat, but if you go for med spec, it would have. And then that one there is the C zone. So this is giving you access to things like navigation lights and speakers and stereo. All the electronics are powered from here. There we go. You can scroll through all kinds of stuff on there, so that's rather nice. Let's put it the right way up, shot. There we go. And you're thinking, that's great, where's the toilet? I'll show you. We'll come around here. This, of course, this has a door that comes across here, and then the top slides across, so that all encloses, which is obviously helpful. And then this one has a sliding door. If we drop down here, there's the loo. It's in the other hull, and you've actually got standing headroom here, just about. But you have. I'm 6'1", 6'2". I can stand up in here, and it feels quite spacious because it goes up back underneath there. So you've got somewhere for your towels and bits and pieces. Got a little mirror to wave into. There's a hull window. You've got your sink. Also, there's a shower. So this pulls out, and you clip your shower up. They haven't actually put the fitting in. They have to decide where to put it yet. And then there's a drain down here so that your water can drain away. So you can have a shower in there as well if you want to. And the other thing you've got here, which is quite nifty, is if we open this, then that is taking us into an engineering area, which is giving us things like the master vault, battery charging. A lot of the electronics are in here, as you can see. Back of the dashboard as well, quite helpfully. So you can get to stuff. And people say, well, that's no good, if you've got a shower here, that's all going to get wet. Well, it's not really, is it? Because, you know, with that closed, even if you hammered water against that, what's the worst you can do? Dribble a little bit of water that'll run down here. It's not going to get anywhere near that, so I wouldn't worry. I think you'll be fine. There we go. I wouldn't get in there while you're wet, though. Here they put a plug socket in, but they made it a waterproof one, so that's a good idea. And that, dear viewers, is that. Should we put the light on? Yes, there we are. There's no expense spared on alcoholic. Let's come back out of here. And I think where we're going to finish up, let's finish up on this lovely sunbathing area up here on the bow. I'm going to see if I can pinch that cap in a minute. And I'm going to say huge thanks to Approved Boats. They've organised this tour. That's a really fascinating boat. Let me know what you think of that one in the comments. And we will, of course, look forward to catching you on one of these real soon. And if you've not subscribed, do me a favour, hit that button, hit that bell. We're absolutely crushing it with subscribers at the minute. Just past 400,000, going for the big 5-0. So it'd be great to have you guys on board. And we'll catch you on one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.